Hi everyone, welcome to Digital Literacy, How to Be Web Wise with me, Ali Wysocki, here to talk to you about how teachers can be more digitally literate and also how we can help our students with digital literacy. First and foremost, before we get started, we'd love to hear what you already know about copyright, fair use, and ethical use. So if you could start with this Google form and let me know where you already stand on these three topics, and be honest, give us your honest answer here. So just in general, information literacy, according to the American Library Association, is a set of abilities requiring individuals to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. To be information literate, then, one needs skills not only in research, but in critical thinking. So all this boils down to information literacy is the ability to think critically about the information we find both in print and online. This is important for us as educators and an important skill to be able to pass on to our students. Speaking of educators, let's talk about how copyright, fair use, and ethical use can be relevant to you in your classroom and give you a little list of resources. The top one today being Creative Commons. If you don't already know, this is an absolutely great way to both model and teach digital citizenship to our students. Essentially, you can determine fair use based on how you plan to use those copyrighted materials. For example, the best way to use any material would be to create your own. It's definitely going to fit under the most ethical and fair use, but it's going to be the most time consuming. So this would be a great avenue to explore Creative Commons. You can share and build on the content of others while respecting intellectual property. And there's many sites available out there for you to use Creative Commons work. You can go through Flickr, Microsoft Word, directly to Creative Commons themselves, but lots of ways to get there and use those resources. Next, if we're trying to introduce our students to these concepts, this is a pretty big component that we want to be able to effectively teach our students about. So one great resource to be able to help your students explore would be Google's Be Internet Awesome, where they can learn all about internet safety in a multitude of different ways. So I just wanted to take you on a quick little exploration here, where this game is very interactive. It allows students to answer questions to be able to navigate the different lands in Interland. So essentially, they're becoming confident explorers of the online world in a few different categories. So once you load the game, your character gets to choose which world to explore. So you can decide which one you want your students to focus on based on what you're teaching them, or you can have them explore freely. For example, one of the lands focuses heavily on kindness and how to be cognizant of what we post online. The Reality River helps students distinguish between what's real and what's fake online. So those reliable and credible sources would be a great spot for this. Mindful Mountain is where they can share with care, thinking about fair use and respecting intellectual property. And then Tower of Treasure, talking about internet security and how they can ensure that they're being safe with their own information online. So that's just a great way to show students how they can navigate the internet safely. And at the end here, we have that QR again for you to share one thing that you've learned and one question you still have to guide future lessons about internet safety, copyright, fair use, and ethical use of resources. Thank you so much. There's also a resource slide in here for you as well if you missed the Google form, if you wanted to get right to Interland, and a few other sources that might help you when you're teaching about copyright, fair use, and ethical use of resources online. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you learned something and can't wait to see you next time.